Hello readers, welcome back to another video. In today's video, I'm going to recommend you some unputdownable books. If you're someone who is interested in bookish content, please make sure that you subscribe to my channel. I upload new videos every week. And in today's video, I'm going to tell you about few unputdownable books. And so basically my funda about unputdownable books is different. They necessarily don't need to be thrillers in order to be unputdownable. For me, irrespective of the genre, if any book picks up speed and is very interesting and that you just cannot put that book down, is unputdownable for me. So in this video, not only thrillers but there are going to be some other books as well that surely were unputdownable for me, and I'm going to tell you the reason why. So let's start today's video and know about those books. Number book which I have is Norwegian Wood by Murakami. And I know most of you know about this book, and most of you know that how depressing this book is, because this is about like friendship, heartbreak, love, death, suicide, and many more trigger warnings are obviously there attached to this book. So why this book was unputdownable for me? Because even though it was very depressing and I was like being so sad and sort of irritated with this whole thing, not irritated with the book, but in general my mood was just shifting. And but despite being all of this book had something attractive towards it. Just like a magnet, I was getting attracted to this book and I just wanted to read more and more and more. So that is why this book was unputdownable for me. And I totally understand if someone is finding it too depressing that they just cannot read it, they may not find it that unputdownable. But since I just don't know, but I was so attracted towards this book that I just wanted to know what's going to happen next. And so Murakami's writing usually have magical realism, so no matter how fast you read, at the end you're going to be like, what? And so there are like a lot of interpretations towards the ending, and I definitely discussed, I definitely enjoyed discussing them with my friends who have read it, and it was also fun. So I definitely recommend Norwegian Wood if you haven't read it yet. Second book which I have to recommend you is 1,000 Splendid Suns by Khaled Hosseini. And again, Khaled Hosseini is not assumed, but he's definitely writing books that have a lot of tragedy and there's a lot of pain and everything. And the reason why this book was unputdownable for me, because of the writing style. It was so beautiful, and somehow I just started connecting myself with this book, with the characters, especially Mariam and Leila, and I just wanted to know more about them. So when I say unputdownable, it's not that I just finished this in like one go. Obviously I took my time to finish it, but every time when I had to keep this book down, I did not want that to happen. But unfortunately, due to some work, I had to stop my reading and do that work. But I know how addictive this book was and how attracted I was towards this book. So for that very reason, I definitely recommend this book, because I know you are going to connect yourself with the characters, with the story, and then you just would not like to keep this book down. Another book which I found unputdownable was Anxious People by Frederick Backman. This book talks about mental health, but in a very unique way, and the chapters are very short. So I guess for that very reason, this book was sort of unputdownable. I read this as an ebook. Usually with ebooks, I'm very slow, but still with this book, I was like reading so much in one go, because it has some sort of suspense, and it keeps you hanging in between the chapters, and so you naturally want to know more about it. And the more you read, the more you're going to get confused for a while, but then everything get sorted, and you understand and you connect all the dots. And it's very interesting and very heartwarming, and the chapters are also very short. Like some chapters are even only half a page, so you can understand how naturally my reading speed was so fast with this book. So for that reason, this book was unputdownable, and when I also read it, I really loved it. And also now there is series adaptation of this book, and it's available on Netflix. I haven't watched it yet, but I'm planning to watch it. I don't know how it's going to be, because usually adaptations are very manipulative and they are very different from the original book. So I don't know, I don't have much expectations from the adaptation, but I really love the book and I definitely recommend you. Another book which I found unputdownable now is a thriller, and it is The Woman in the Window, and it's written by AJ Finn, and I read this in 2021 and I found it unputdownable for only one reason, because first of all it was also very manipulative, and I liked some parts of it while I hated some parts of it, and there's a complete review of this book on my channel, so if you would like, you can watch the book review for this book, and I'll link it in the description below. And so this book also has like very small chapters, and they are very like manipulative, and the kind of chapters that keeps you wanting for more and more. So it was like that. However, I don't recommend this book to beginners at all, beginners in reading at all, not just thrillers but in reading at all, because the language is pretty difficult, and I, as an avid reader myself, was finding it so difficult initially when I was just not understanding what the hell is happening. And so I don't know the experience of other readers with this book, but I naturally found the language in this book pretty complicated for a thriller. I guess if the language would have been a bit easier, I would have enjoyed it more. But anyway, there's also movie adaptation of this book now, and I started watching it, but then I stopped because I was just finding it so boring while watching the screen adaptation. And also the book, in terms of plot, it moves quite slowly, but I guess only because of the chapters being very short, I feel that this book is an unputdownable book, because naturally I was just reading 100 pages or 150 pages in one go, so it was kind of addictive, but it has some problems definitely. Second last book which I have to recommend you is Tuesdays with Mori, and already a lot of people have read this book, and now you guys must be wondering that why the hell Sakshi is recommending Tuesdays with Mori, because even though it's not a thriller, and I already told you guys about my funda of unputdownable books, so while reading this book, I sort of formed a connection with this book, with the character Mori, and everything that was happening to him. And so for that very reason, I was finding it so difficult to put it down. And also the book is very short, and chapters are also very short, and as the book was progressing, it was just getting so emotional and sentimental. So naturally I just did not want to let go of this book or put it down and stop my reading. And so for that reason, I kind of found it unputdownable. But I don't recommend that you need to read it in a hurry or rush, because this talks about a lot of important issues, not issues but a lot of important topics that needs a lot of reflection, and that won't come if you would speed read something. And I was not speed reading it, I was naturally just reading it at my normal speed, but I just did not want this book to end, and I highly recommend reading this book. Last but not the least, the book I have is Till the Last Breath by Durjoy Datta, and this is also not a thriller. This is an emotional drama sort of a book, you can say. I don't exactly know the genre, but this is a fiction with emotional elements, so yes, it's that. And the reason why I really like reading this book is because there's no cringe or cheesy elements attached to it, and it was very emotional, very meaningful. It also talks about Tuesdays with Mori in it, and I guess for that same reason you should read like both the books. First of all, read Tuesdays with Mori, of course, and then try reading this Till the Last Breath. And from the title I thought that it's going to be something like romance, maybe a tragic romance, but nothing of that sort was there. I don't know if I'm going to read other books by Durjoy Datta or not, but this was his first book that I read and I really loved it. And I don't know about his other books, but this is something that I really recommend. It was very emotional and you will definitely like reading it. And reason why I found it unputdownable, because as the story started progressing, and it kind of connected me with it, so naturally I just wanted to know more and more and more about it. So in that way it was Unputdownable. And that is it for today's video. I really hope you guys enjoyed watching it, and if you guys have read any of the books which I mentioned here, please do let me know in the comments below. And if there's any book you would like me to read and review, something that's Unputdownable, or any book in general you would like to see a review of, please do let me know in the comments below, and I would love to see what that book is, and I would truly try to read and review that book for you and other audience of mine. And if you enjoyed watching this video, please give this video a big thumbs up, and also share it with your reader friends, and subscribe to my channel, and do all those amazing things that you can in order to support me if you like my content. And I'll see you in the upcoming videos. Until next time, take care and keep reading.